Joining us now is retired Colonel Rich Outzen, a senior fellow at the Atlantic Council from Washington, D.C. Rich, welcome back. So after these deadly explosions in Lebanon, Hezbollah is vowing to punish Israel. Israel has not outright claimed responsibility for these attacks. How do you see the situation moving forward?
Well, it's good to be with you. I would think that this represents one of two possible strategies on the part of whoever executed it. Of course, all signs point to Israel, although they've not claimed responsibility for it. The first would be that this is what we would say is a tactical strike. There's been a tit for tat going on between Israel and Hezbollah. Hezbollah, shortly after the October 7th terror attacks out of the Gaza Strip into Israel, started launching rockets and missiles out of solidarity with Hamas. And that has made the northern part of Israel virtually uninhabitable. So tens of thousands of Israelis have moved out of the northern to the central parts of Israel. And Hezbollah continues to conduct attacks even today with rockets and missiles. So this may have been Israel saying enough is enough. We want this to stop here, and to inflict a painful enough blow by taking out thousands of the leadership cadres of Hezbollah and its civilian organizations. Or another possibility, although it doesn't look like this so far, would be that this would be the opening salvo in a larger operation. In Israel, they've been saying that they need to remove the Hezbollah infrastructure from the border area to 30, 40 kilometers, perhaps the Litani River, something like that. There's a significant portion of the political class in Israel who says we need to have a major ground operation so that our people can go back home. This would be a brilliant stroke to kneecap, so to speak, the Hezbollah's resistance prior to a major operation. I think either of those could happen, but at a minimum, Hezbollah is rocked back on its feet by this, realizing the depths of the Israeli tactical advantage and technological advantage.
Antony Blinken made his 10th visit to the Middle East region, making a point not to visit Israel. He insists that this elusive Gaza ceasefire deal can still be salvaged, although it appears that they're working on a new deal. Is anyone listening to him at this point?
Well, I think a lot of what he is doing is for domestic political consumption. I think with the elections coming up in the U.S. in November, the White House is trying to thread the needle by saying, on one hand, we don't want further escalation and we want this to stop for humanitarian purposes. But on the other hand, saying, well, we really support Israel's judgment and its ability to make its own decisions about its security. So that's a balance that's easier to strike in the U.S. than it is to audiences overseas. So I think people overseas and in the region generally are not listening to it.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine how much of an effect his words will have on the election domestically as well. Rich, it's always great to talk to you. Thank you so much. Retired Colonel Rich Outzen, Senior Fellow at the Atlantic Council from Washington, D.C.
Thank you.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.